I still remember when I was learning English communication, it was quite difficult for me to speak in front of people, especially people who could communicate effectively. I used to compare myself with them. When I would see some people speaking great, they use flawless English, exclusive vocabulary. I myself used to stammer, and somehow that has been a challenge for me at that point of time. I decided to completely get out of it. I remember the days when I used to represent myself among people. I used to work with some of the corporates, yet just because of my ineffective communication skills and lack of confidence, and most important thing, my comparison syndrome, I couldn't get in front of them. And that's when I did realize that if I do not stop comparing myself with others, I will surely not be able to speak this language. And that's, my dear friend, is the story of nowadays. When learners say that they do not want to speak or they cannot speak effectively, especially whenever they see people who can speak better than them. Somehow this comparison comes, and not in English, it happens in life as well. We end up comparing ourselves in terms of the way that we appear, the way that we speak, the way that we connect. In fact, we also do compare ourselves in terms of the wealth, the possessions, the money, and of course, in relationship too, we end up comparing. And that becomes the most difficult thing, which stops all of us to become the best version of ourselves. And that's what the agenda of today's video is, to exactly tell you the tools which you can use from day one itself and can bring a substantial change in the way you speak. Trust me, with an experience, I can say that if you do not end comparing yourself, you will not be able to speak this language confidently. So here are my 3 tips for all of you. Number 1, there is a famous saying that comparison is the thief of joy. And to overcome that, the first step is be mindful while you spend the day. Next time when you see that you have started comparing yourselves, maybe in any domain, be it finance, be it communication, or in any other area, you should be really mindful and observe your thoughts so that you can catch yourself doing this act. And once you observe yourself making these comparisons, which are quite unnecessary, stop yourself, keep a roadblock to yourself and stop doing that. Because over a period of time, this comparison has become your habit. And unless you are not mindful of your thoughts will overpower you. So the number 1 thing is, next time whenever you come across any such comparison and these thoughts prompt into your mind, I highly advise you to stop, observe your thoughts, and then take the necessary measure. If you feel that you are comparing yourself with others, catch yourself so that you can become your friend. Let me tell you a fact. Nobody is your friend better than you. So in place of expecting help from others, you can help yourself by just observing yourself and stop yourself then and there itself. Number 2, be really realistic. You have to be realistic. Unless you are not realistic, nothing is going to change. The problem is that we compare our interior with people's exterior. Now, there is a famous fact, and it's quite an interesting one. If we look into social media, we can see people posting about their good moments, rejoice, and all the beautiful and cherishable moments. Now, that doesn't mean that they do not have problems. What simply happens is that nobody wants to put their dark side in front of people, yet when it comes to good moments, they always do put so. In fact, just a few days back, I was traveling by road and I could meet one of my friends. He couldn't make it in his life and he was stealing his eyes from me. And the moment I approached him and asked that what's going on, and then we started doing the conversation, he opened up and then he said that I started comparing myself with you, Arindam, and that's why I couldn't come with you, just because I am less financially successful. To which I completely said to him that don't compare my exteriors with your interiors. Each and every single one of us have the best potential, and we simply need to understand how to unlock that potential. That's it. So you have to be really realistic in accepting yourself and never ever compare your inner self to someone else's exterior. And the third and the most important tip for you is that if you want to compare yourself, then compare yourself in terms of virtues. It simply means that if you really want to compare yourself, compare with people in terms of hard work, in terms of discipline, in terms of their ethics, in terms of the kind of nature in which they are surrounded with, in terms of the kind of hard work and efforts that they put in to become their best self. And that's the agenda. We should always compare ourselves in terms of the process that people follow to get what we want, rather than comparing ourselves with people. And this is the most important tip. When I applied this tip, it brought about a substantial change in my life. So even though now I know that still in a lot of areas I need to improve, yet I still decide to persevere and try to magnify my process rather than just betraying myself, criticizing and not doing well. So these are the 3 tips which I believe if you follow, it's definitely going to help you stop comparing yourself. The most important fact which you need to take out of this video is that even when you are on the journey of learning English communication, don't compare yourself with someone else. Everyone has their own ability and so as you, and everybody takes time to learn. Just by doing a repetitive practice and following certain methods, you would be also able to speak this language. So next time, whenever you see somebody else doing so well in terms of English, rather than going into the comparison cliche, just go to them and ask what's the process that they followed and what you can learn from them. So on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have liked it, then please press the bell icon and don't forget to subscribe this channel, because content related to public speaking, communication and English is what you are going to get in this channel, and I am devoted to help you out. Till then, take care.